Come geek out with us on the Rock Nerd Radio Show.
Hey everyone, it's Dan from the Rock Nerd Radio Show. Thank you for tuning in to my YouTube channel today where I have a very special unboxing. And before I get to that, it's been a little bit since I posted a video. I hope everybody's doing well. I was actually traveling. My wife and I live in New York, but we went over to Ireland for a week. And now we're back and life is returning to normal. But spring's been pretty good for me so far. I hope you've been having a pretty good spring as well. And my unboxing today pertains to something that I made a video about a couple months ago. I had put up a video talking about the Marvel Comics video library and how I was going to go on a quest to track down every volume of the VHS video library, all 25 volumes of the Marvel Comics video library, to own them mostly as a cool display thing, but also then to go back and watch every episode that is featured in the Marvel Comics video library and give some kind of a review. And I'm still not entirely sure what that's going to look like. I might have like a guest watch each volume with me and then we'll talk about it together, so it's not just me talking at this camera. But I got really deep into the Marvel Comics video library over the past little bit, and I have most of the volumes. I'm not gonna lie, I had most of the volumes. The final couple volumes, the final like 5 or 6 volumes, go for a lot on eBay. I've seen some go for as low as $30 and as much as $70. And for a VHS cassette tape that I'm not even gonna watch, I'm just gonna have on a bookshelf to display, that was more than I wanted to pay. So while I was in Ireland, an eBay listing popped up for a complete Marvel Comics video library, all 25 volumes, and the opening bid put them at about, with shipping, put them at about like $11 per video. So that seemed like too good of a deal to pass up. My only problem was that it was a bid. It wasn't a buy it now. So I kind of bided my time, and while I was in Ireland, the auction was ending, so thank God I had service. And not that Ireland doesn't have good cell phone service, but there are some patches where it can get rough. But we were in a car one day, we had a driver taking us somewhere, and I had service, and the auction was ending, and I threw in a bid, and I won it for like $1.50 over starting bid. So I guess the Marvel Comics video library isn't in as high demand as I thought. But now I have the entire thing, complete with the last few volumes that are kind of hard to track down. And I got it all from eBay. And this box weighs a ton. And I know it says Laffy Taffy on it. I want to know where someone got this big of a box of Laffy Taffy. That's what I want to know. But all the volumes, I believe, are in here. I haven't actually checked it out yet. You might see some red tape on here. I just put that to like hide all my details and the person who sent it to me, because I'm sure they don't want that featured on YouTube. So I'm going to go through this real quick. I'm just going to show you all 25 volumes so you know what to expect. And eventually, I'm going to do something with this. Like I said, I might have people watching it with me, and then we'll talk about it together. I don't know what that's going to look like yet. I keep trying to find a way to do that, but we'll get there. So let's start taking out these volumes and looking at what we have here. This is really exciting. I honestly just kind of cracked it open to make sure all the 25 volumes were in here. I haven't actually really looked at any of them yet. So, is it 24 or 25 volumes? I keep saying 25. It might just be 24 volumes. So here is volume 24. It's actually The Incredible Hulk volume 2. This features an episode of the 80s Hulk show, as well as 2 of the 67 Spider-Man episodes. So, looking forward to watching this one. This should be pretty cool. I'm sorry. I'm going to go through all these. I'll go a little quicker. But here's volume 24. That is The Incredible Hulk. Volume 23, we have Spider-Woman volume 2. So it has an episode of Spider-Woman as well as 2 of the 60s Spider-Man. We also have volume 22. And you know what? I remember seeing this one in my local video store as a kid all the time, because the cover is really cool. It is Fantastic Four volume 2. So there we go. This has an episode of the 78 Fantastic Four cartoon and some of the Spider-Man ones as well. But I do like, I should have shown you the other 2. The spine, it says Fantastic Four Volume 2. And that's really like the cool thing about these. All these spines are going to look different. They don't say like Marvel Comics Video Library on them. And, these aren't in order. That's okay. Let's see. We have Captain America Volume 21. or this is volume 21, Captain America volume 2. So there we go. And actually, yeah, I think the final volume might be a Thor volume or Spider-Man volume. There's definitely another volume somewhere in here. Yeah, wait, hang on. We'll get it. It might be 24. I forget now. Here's volume 20. It is Thor volume 2. This one actually features the Absorbing Man. That is from that like 60s animation where it's like they took the comic panels and just put some slight animation to them. So that's a pretty cool one. Let's see. All right, some of these are in order, so let me start going this way. We have the second Spider-Man volume. So this is volume 19 of the Marvel Comics video library. This has a lot on it. Oh no, this doesn't have that much on it. It only has 2 episodes on it. Okay, so there we go. I take that back. But cool looking volume. I like the art on this one. I think that looks pretty neat. So let's get to volume 18, which is Red Skull. And as I mentioned in my first video about this, like one of the big reasons why I liked this was because of the spines again. So like this says Red Skull, so this almost looks like a Red Skull movie, but instead these are just episodes featuring the Red Skull on here. I believe. I know. I'm not entirely sure what episodes are what on here. Some of these might have these Spider-Man episodes, but this is one of the few ones where there's not Spider-Man on the back. Most of these volumes have Spider-Man on the back of them. Even like the Thor one, for instance, has Spider-Man on the back. But the Red Skull one only has Red Skull and Captain America on it. That's pretty cool. That brings me to volume 17, which is Thor, the first Thor volume. It looks like that. I find it funny that the first Thor volume is on number 17. Back in '85 when these were coming out, I don't think Thor was as big as as much of a household name as he is now. So like Thor, people probably didn't really care about back then. So him being one of the 17th in a series of videos, I find to be an interesting thing. The first 18 volumes would alternate hero villain. So you're gonna start seeing that pattern as we go. But volume 16, I'm just going backwards from the box now, is the Green Goblin volume, and that's really cool art too. I just find it funny that it's about the Green Goblin. Here he is getting punched out. So it's not like a triumphant pose. It's literally him getting his, what kicked. That brings us to volume 15, which is Namor, the Submariner. So there we go. Still not a character who I think the general population is going to know or care much about at the moment because he's not in a movie yet. But he will be soon, probably. So there have been a lot of rumors about him popping up in like Black Panther 2. All right, so that was 15. Volume 14 is the Mole Man. Now, here we go. Talk about a heroic pose. Here he is, like, he just knocked out the Thing, you can see. But, cool one, too. I believe this is, again, that 70s Fantastic Four series featuring or showing Mole Man. The Spider-Man episode on here says Spider-Man meets the Mole Man. I'm wondering if this is the same Mole Man or if this is something that just shares a name. I guess we'll find out when I watch that. Volume 13, this is one that I had as a kid, but it is the first Spider-Woman volume. So there we go. Volume 12 features The Vulture. Really excited about this one. I remember the video store near me as a kid had this one, and I used to rent this a lot. And the first episode on here is from the 80s Spider-Man cartoon. And it was a pretty cool Vulture episode. It involved invisible paint. Which isn't a joke. That's really something in it. Volume 11 is The Thing. So it is Fantastic Four episodes, but the volume is called The Thing. So I really like that. Let's get to volume 10, which is none other than Dr. Octopus. I like this cover a lot too. This one looks pretty cool. But on the back of this one, it has like the one episode, The Power of Dr. Octopus, and then 3 other bonus features. So I think this is all the 60s Spider-Man, where like each of these are about like 11 to 12 minutes long, which is why there's so many on this one. That brings us to volume 9 of the video library, and something I find interesting is that the one and only volume of Iron Man is volume 9. There are not a whole lot of Iron Man content. There's not a whole lot of Iron Man content on here, which again, like the Marvel Cinematic Universe started with Iron Man, kind of made him a household name. A lot of people know who Iron Man is now. This, at the time, no one really cared about Iron Man. I don't want to say no one, but it wasn't as common to be an Iron Man fan. Volume 8 is The Sandman. which is a cool design of Sandman, not something I'm used to seeing on there, but I believe so there's an 80s Spider-Man episode on here with Sandman. I think there's a 60s episode of Spider-Man with Sandman, and then the Scorpion episode of the 60s Spider-Man is on here, so that should be a pretty cool one. And again, just like look at that spine. Look how neat that looks. That's just like a freaky image of Sandman. That's really cool. All right, brings us to number 7. This is Fantastic Four Volume 1. This is one that I also had as a kid, but as I said, I figured at some point I was going to have to buy a couple of the same volumes to catch everything, and this is how it worked out. The 6th volume, this is something that makes me laugh, because I don't think this character was ever like an A-lister to anybody. This one focuses on The Fly. And the funny thing in here is that it has a Spider-Man episode with The Fly, it has a Spider-Woman episode with The Fly. Neither of those flies are the same as this guy on the box, and neither are anything that's really been represented in the comics. So I find this hysterical, but hey, I needed it to get the whole thing, so we'll watch it at some point. That brings us to the 5th volume. This was the first Incredible Hulk volume, so I'm excited about this one. This one, I think, if I recall, Hulk fights the Hunchback of Notre Dame in this episode. Interesting. Not your leader or your abomination or Bi-Beast or something. No, he fights the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Volume 3 featured Magneto, probably around the 80s, one of the most important and most known supervillains in the Marvel Universe. Oddly enough, though, there are no X-Men mentions in any of this. I think Magneto is closest we get to mutants on here. Volume 3 was the first Captain America volume. So this should be pretty cool. One of the episodes on here is the origin of Captain America. So you get to learn how he became Cap. It's very similar to the movie. Just with, animation. Volume 2, probably the most well-known Marvel villain at the time of the Video Comics Library release, Doctor Doom. This should be a cool one to watch because I think it has both the 80s Spider-Man and the late 70s Fantastic Four on here. So these would be cool episodes to check out. And then finally, we have Volume 1, which is this first volume of Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man. Features the origin of Spider-Man, as well as an episode called The Incredible Shrinking Spider-Man that I will, at some point, in some way, review and go over. This was one I've had since I've been a kid. So I'm probably going to end up reselling a number of these volumes that I have doubles of now. I think I can get this box out of my way. But yeah, I'm really excited to watch all this now and go through it and just have it on a shelf because I think it's going to look really cool. I have a bookcase over here that you can't quite see. I'm just looking forward to putting everything on here. So I'm really excited about this. I hope that that you can be excited for this too. Thanks for checking out this video. I know it's just been a lot of me kind of talking and showing random things, but at some point I will definitely start reviewing these episodes. As I said, I think I'm going to try to have somebody on with me and talk about them so that it's not just me talking at you, but I'll probably try to make some kind of announcement on social media before it goes up so you can watch along, or maybe I'll just tell you what the episodes are and you can watch them before you watch my review. I don't know. I'm clearly this isn't well thought out just yet, but I'm really excited. I'm really happy about this. I'm kind of been grinning from ear to ear about the whole thing. So thanks for checking this video out. If you want more of the Rock Nerd Radio Show, you can always check out my podcast. It is live every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on HudsonRiverRadio.com. And if you don't catch it live, you can subscribe to it on all of your favorite podcasting platforms. If you like this video, you can do the whole YouTube thing. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe, whatever, leave a comment. Did you have any of the Marvel Comics video library when you were a kid? Have you ever heard of it? Are you excited to check out some of this stuff with me? Let me know. Until then, I've been Dan. You've been pretty awesome. I'll catch you next time.
Come geek out with us on the Rock Nerd Radio Show.